So as usual. So this video is about how I overcomplicated a hobby that I used to actually really enjoy. At age 23, I found Splatoon and never looked back. Found a pastime I could really sink my teeth into. Over time, my love for the series turned into nothing but rage and difficulty. Around age 32, I was diagnosed with ADHD. I'm now 34 in 2026. So the timeline is easy enough to figure out, but being diagnosed at a few years back made my life make more sense to me, including the shift in how I consume Splatoon over the years and how it made me feel. I'm happy to say that I can enjoy Splatoon fully again, but for me to do that, it took simplifying things. It took removing a lot of the things from my life, and it took me actually understanding how my brain works. It wasn't like everything magically got fixed, but I finally had more clarity. I could finally look back at certain things in my life and be like, okay, that makes a lot of sense why I was doing that. And one of those things was Splatoon, because I did not just stop enjoying Splatoon out of nowhere. I basically started destroying the hobby that I love. And I got into Splatoon the same way a lot of people did, the Wii U era. I remember seeing the commercial and thinking Splatoon was one of the most unique games I had ever seen. A lot of what I like about Nintendo games is that they are so different from what's real in our actual world. That's something I've always appreciated. And with Splatoon, it was not just another shooter. You could swim through ink. You could refill your tank by swimming. The movement was different. The whole concept was just different. It had its own identity. And I was really enamored with that. I picked up a Wii U near the end of my grad year, even though I never really cared for the Wii U. That console was terrible, probably garbage. And a lot of you were 12, so I really don't want to hear it, and we just need to be honest. But Splatoon gave me something I wasn't sure I'd ever find again. It gave me a game I actually loved. At that point in my life, gaming was in the backseat. I was focused more on real life, career stuff, school stuff, trying to get certain things done. But Splatoon roped me back in. And the thing that drew me in even closer from there was content creation and competitive Splatoon. I got really wrapped up in the idea that Splatoon could be a competitive game. Like, we're talking about squids swimming through ink, but there was real depth. I got into competitive and embedded myself within the entire scene. In Splatoon 1, I had some decent tournament runs, nothing crazy, but we placed okay and had some upsets on teams people probably did not think we should have beat. And I met a lot of great people during that time. Splatoon 1 was a jumping off point, but I wasn't sure how high or low I'd get with the series from there. Interestingly enough, if I had been diagnosed with ADHD around Splatoon 2 coming out, I think it would have made a lot of sense why that game frustrated me so much. Because the little things mattered. The motion controls felt different. The kits were completely different. The maps were different. The specials were different. And even though it was still Splatoon, I was basically learning a different game. That is something I did not really understand at the time. The time you put into one game does not automatically transfer to the next game the way you think it will. And for me, I have always known that getting good at anything takes time. It takes effort. It's not just some natural thing where I pick something up and I'm good. The only thing I have ever found easy in my life is lifting, sports, and working out. That stuff has always made more sense to me. But learning mechanics, putting myself in a space that does not automatically make sense to me, that is hard. And I think with Splatoon 2, I did not realize how much I was struggling with that. I despised what I was playing, but I still loved everything around it. I loved the community. I loved the competitive idea. I love the fact that this weird Nintendo game could actually be taken seriously by people. And I wanted to see that last part come to life. But all of the frustrating new that came with the game clouded all the love that I had. But instead of just sitting down and learning the game again, I started adding more things into the game. I started adding more caveats. And in some ways, I added more excuses. A lot of excuses. But the weird part is, those excuses also led me to cool things. I helped with the competitive scene. I helped build up local stuff in New York. We had events at Aeon Gaming. We were able to get an event sponsored by Nintendo. I worked with groups like Endgame TV and Ink TV. I was a part of podcasts. And honestly, a lot of the skills I have now, even how I speak and how I organize my thoughts, came from those choices and the excuses too. So I don't regret them at all. But I can also be honest and say I was building more and more reason to despise the core experience itself. I could not bring myself to just play the game. And then there was Nintendo's role in Splatoon that added to the pile of my frustration. Once I started to realize that Nintendo did not really care about competitive Splatoon in the way that I wanted them to, I got more and more bothered. Now, I do not mean people couldn't play competitively, because you could. I do not mean you cannot try to be the best at Splatoon. What I wanted was completely different. I wanted Splatoon to have a real competitive future. Players making money, players getting sponsorships, events feeling more, official, like the commercial they put out. A real path to legitimacy on a big scale. And as we got closer to 2020 and the landscape started, I won't even say changing, looking shaky, a lot of things got complicated for me. And balancing that desire with, everything else, I started thinking, okay, maybe I can just do content for myself. So I leaned more into content creation, but I still was not working on the issues that had been following me for a very long time. The same ones that pushed me away from actually playing Splatoon 2 and caused problems well before then. I have always had issues with rage. Always. Issues with confidence, issues with thinking less of myself, issues with not putting a full action plan into things the way I should. But I always had drive. Deep down, I just know I will get through. I will figure it out. I will find a way. And honestly, that is one thing about ADHD that people don't talk about. Resilience. You can find creative ways to get through things because you've had to do that your whole life. That is how I got through school. That is how I got through undergrad. There was no chance I was doing a fifth year. I was not doing that. Now, there were other things there too. Parents being a driving force, religious stuff, all of that. But even with content creation, when I have an idea, I will try to make it work. I will set things up. I will find a way. I will find a way. The problem is, I sometimes lose focus on what actually matters to me. And that is something I have to notice about myself. Sometimes I forget myself. I forget what I actually care about, and I start chasing external things. I am glad I did a lot of the things I did, but when I started doing content creation, seriously, I was fracturing myself more than ever before. I have talked about this before, but I almost want to call myself a social media drug addict. I know in psychology spaces, people may call it social media dependence, but that is not what Twitter felt like to me. Twitter felt like something I was actively pulled into. I liked seeing what people were posting. I liked being a part of the conversation. Sometimes it was anger. Sometimes it was drama. And sometimes it was just that feeling of knowing what was going on, FOMO. And I got kind of decent at posting within Splatoon. that gave me this feeling of, okay, I really can do this content stuff. I can stream, I can post, I can build something. But I did not realize I was doing way too much. Being a content creator means putting things out. But I was not just putting things out, I was trying to go anywhere and do anything to reach my goal. And I did not realize I was fracturing the very thing I actually love. I destroyed it in my mind. I detached the game from enjoyment. And I started using every other element around it to try to grow. Then Splatoon 3 came out, and I was probably in one of the worst mental states I had ever been in. I could not focus on the game. I could not get things done. I was just doing whatever I could to stay ahead and afloat. Nothing mattered but the content cycle. I had to get content out. I had to stream for 8 hours. I had to search Twitter for some topics. I had to find something to talk about. And for me, I personally destroyed myself. Doom scrolling became like cigarettes. Not even like, they were basically cigarettes. That's the best way I can explain it. I would actively look at scrolling like an addiction. It felt good. It gave me something. I don't even want to say purpose, but it did. And I kept going back to it. And I started bringing that into my content. And at that point, it was no longer about the game I was playing. It was no longer about me getting better. To get better from any of this, I had to let myself go. And I do not just mean physically. I mean mentally. I was drinking 2 liters of soda just to get a video done. I was using anything I could to get myself into a place where I could make something. And without a real plan, I was just destroying myself. It was not until one day where I realized I needed to change. That is why, for those of you who noticed, it probably looked like I pulled myself back drastically, because I had to. I had to pull myself out so I could find a healthier way back in. And now, if you have noticed, it is more about the game again. If you are wondering, where is the ADHD in all of this? It's in everything that I just talked about. Even the way this conversation jumps around a little bit, that is part of it. It was the overthinking, the emotional spirals, the chasing, the lack of structure, the difficulty focusing, the need to turn one thing into 10 things, the rage, the shame, the trying to force myself through everything instead of understanding what was actually happening. I had to go seek help. I had to talk to people who could help me. Medication is not everything, but getting help gave me clarity. And one of the biggest things I realized is that we are living in an economy that wants your attention. No, it demands it and needs it. So if you are already a person who has a hard time focusing, it will splinter you even harder. I'm not here to tell people they need to give up social media. I'm not here to tell people they need to only focus on one thing. I'm not here to tell you that you need wellness and mindset training to get back into Splatoon. But for me, I had to understand that ADHD was affecting how I viewed the game I loved. It fractured the game. It made me see Splatoon as a mechanism for content creation instead of an outlet I enjoyed. I was forcing myself to stream 8 hours. I did not have to stream 8 hours of Splatoon. I was forcing myself to find new topics about Splatoon. I did not have to find new topics about Splatoon. I was listening to every single person's idea about this map, this weapon, that special, and I kept putting myself into negative spirals. And if you constantly put yourself in those spirals, that is what you're going to receive, negativity. And that starts to form in your mind. So for myself, I had to cut myself off from that so I could move forward. Again, I'm not here to tell people whether they do or don't have ADHD. What I will always say is, go get tested. Find out if this is something you need to work on. And even outside of ADHD, organizing your thoughts and organizing your brain is never a bad thing. Because one thing I have learned now is that breaking things down is a good thing in a world that wants you to do everything. If your mind already jumps around, doing everything will not make you more creative. It will split your creativity apart. That is where I got to. That is why I was making videos where I would say, I'm not trying to spread drama, but I was clearly reading about drama and putting it on a platform for other people to see. And at the time, I thought maybe I was doing something good. Like, I was getting things out there, but a lot of the time, I really was not. And I'm not talking about situations where people were harmed. That is different. I'm talking about topics that could have just been people having a conversation with each other. So that is why there has been such a change in how I approach content now. More planned out, more intentional, less reactive, because I really do think we need more minimalism and less extremes. There is no point in extremes. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do not use social media. I deleted Twitter completely, and I'm not going back to that platform ever. But do I check TikTok? Yes. Am I going to start collecting videos and making content about every topic people are mad about? No. And if that is the type of content somebody else can do, more power to you. But for me, it puts me in a place I do not want to be ever again. I want to focus on things I actually like. What I liked about Splatoon was the competitive aspect, but I also had to be realistic with that. Nintendo is not going to put this game at the forefront of esports, and that is okay. If it happens later, cool. If it does not happen, cool. But I had to reach a point of acceptance. There are other things that matter. I was given an opportunity where people enjoy what I talk about, how I talk, and what I bring to the table. So I'm going to keep living within that. And when I think about Splatoon now, I think I needed to understand what competition actually takes. Not just in Splatoon, but in anything competitive. When you look at pro athletes, even in the NBA, it is not just about talent. It is resilience. It is practice. It is emotional regulation. It is a calm mind. It is being able to lose and not fall apart. It is being able to review what happened without making it your whole identity. And those are things I had to learn. Because being a better Splatoon player was not just about aim. It was not just about motion controls. It was not just about map knowledge. For me, it was also about calming my mind, simplifying, practicing, understanding myself, and understanding how ADHD affects me. This is what I want this video to be. I want somebody to be able to come back to this and see it as an example of growth, because I have been playing Splatoon for over 10 years now. From when the first game came out to now in 2026. And what I've learned is that changing how you approach something does not mean you failed. It means you're growing. You do not have to be a pro in Splatoon, but emotional regulation will help you no matter where you are. You do not have to be the greatest X Battles player, but having a calmer mind will make the game better. And honestly, it will make life better. These are things that started to seep into every part of my life. Even with the smaller videos I was making about how to get better, a lot of that advice was stuff I had to tell to myself. I had to put myself in a stronger position to be a better person, to be a better husband, to be a better father, and to be a better Splatoon player for myself, because this is the game I chose to be a part of. And I want to be a positive light in this space. Not fake positivity, not pretending the game is perfect, not pretending I never get frustrated, but more grounded, more honest, more focused on the actual game, because I almost ruined Splatoon for myself by making it everything: content, competition, drama, Twitter, identity, growth, pressure. And now I'm trying to bring it back down to the core. It is just a game I love. And sometimes the best thing you can do for something you love is stop making it carry your whole life. That is where I'm at now. I still want to get better. I still want to talk about the game. I still care about competitive Splatoon, but I want to do it in a way that does not destroy me. And honestly, that feels like growth for me. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to catch you guys later. Have an amazing day. Peace out.